Hello out there in Videoland. And I should be back on Radioland. Okay, let's do it right this time. Let's do it right this time. Yeah. Jeez, I didn't have anything running right at the first go around here. Sorry about that, all you listening on the radio. There's some a little bit of a delay there. But I'm back. It's 12:01. Don't worry about it. I'm on time. Gary Wilkins, I owe you a minute. But my name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q Radio. And yes, we had to do a little bit of a restart there, but you won't notice it on video because I just edited out the first part of my screw up. I can't do it so much on the radio, though, because I was already broadcasting. So let's get down to it today. We got lots to talk about. We got the city council. I got Mama Luca. I got a lot of stuff I got to say today. Yeah, and I'm going to say it. You know that. I say it. I don't care. It's got to be said. But first, our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamill Machine Company. And people ask me why I wear this hat. Because it's cold out. What's the matter with you? 26 or 7 degrees out? Yeah, it's cold. I got to wear a hat. I don't want to go into a brain freeze. I do that enough already. Anyway, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Yes, we look at the weather. It's cold. Your car breaks down. You're standing out in the cold like a schmuck. Don't do that. Get your car into Wild Bill's. Get it checked out. Be proactive. Make sure your systems are running right. Make sure your defrogger is defrogging your windshield. Make sure everything's working the way it should, including all your systems. And Ken, he's going to put your car on his diagnostic equipment. And guess what? He'll tell you if there's any problems. Take it for a drive. Listen to it. Check your suspension. Check your brakes. Check your fluids. Check everything. So you don't break down and you don't get mad like I do when I break down. Now, you gonna smash them up derby in this goofy weather we have? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Ken's got a full body shop. He'll get your car in, put it back into showroom condition, get you back on the road real quick, and you're going to be happy. Everybody's going to be happy. Support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Ken Hunter. Support them. They support the city. They do a lot for the city. They support the show. So I can be here every day entertaining you, I guess. Maybe it's entertaining. Maybe it's making you mad. Some people get mad. They can't believe what's going on in City Hall until I tell them. Some people just get mad. But at the end of the day, I'm here. That's it. Support our sponsors. Subscribe to the video, all my video viewers. If you're on the radio and you haven't watched the show, go to Paul K. Lemire on YouTube, Your City, Your Voice on YouTube. You'll see the video. Subscribe. It costs nothing to subscribe. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments. We're going to have viewer comments today. I'm going to wind up the comments for the week, basically. And yeah, so it's interesting to get involved and wake people up, get them knowing what's going on. And at the end of the day, the more people that are awake, the better off we all are. And we get the right candidates that are running for the election, and we get the right candidates sitting around city council. Yeah. That's what we want to do. That's why I'm here. So let's just start with viewer comments. That's the way we're going to go today. Start with viewer comments, and then we're going to get into everything else. And so for the Meet the Owner show last Friday, January 23rd, Bob Benner was in the house from the Hamill Machine Company. And it was an interesting show. Let me put it that way. We have these businesses in town that you really don't know what they do. And Bob came in and laid it all out. And I'm going to tell you what unbelievable the things that Hamill Machine Shop does. They've been around since 1948. And it's unbelievable what they do. And we had some comments on that show at Dave Wheeler, who Dave Wheeler comes into the show with me. He usually does the city council agenda reviews and budget stuff and things like that. And his dad owned a small machine shop, and he understands the value of a good machine shop to the industry of the area. So he said, great, informative. He learned things. And then he said, I work contract at OPG, big payday there. And Bob was talking about that. And also great news about apprentices. Bob was saying that they're always looking for good people, and they can get an apprenticeship there and go through their machine shop. And they have different divisions: engineering, electrical engineering, IT, designing, and that kind of thing. So there's opportunity there. If you need a job, You give Bob a call and see if you can get in. You can get in there, right? And Bob said he just wants people who are willing to work and learn. So there you go. At 881 Slick. Great show. Love the information about this business. I almost brought an application. Yeah, it was fantastic. And if anybody wants to apply, go ahead. Go and apply. Bob's a great guy, and he's got a great shop over there and great people working it. So at the shop. So yeah, go ahead, apply, get your name in there. On January 27th, Jody Burdett came in as a guest. And at Penny Brookify says, my advice to Jody Burdett, every time you feel Counselor Matson, talking about Bill Matson, the city clerk, has treated you unfairly, record it. Document everything. One day you may need all the evidence. So there's a heads up from Penny Brookify to Jody Burdett. Keep track of things. You never know. You never know what these guys are going to pull on anybody. Keep track of everything. At the Iceman 69, I'm running for mayor in 2026. So no law against that. Now, I was talking about Jody Burdett. I said, you going to run for city council again? And Jody said, well, I don't know if I can start campaigning now because it's a few years away and I don't want to break any election rules and that. And John Ringo Beam, the Iceman 69, that's who that is, says, I'm running for mayor in 2026. No law against that. So John says he's going to run for mayor in 2026. Awesome. I hope he does. John knows a lot. John's just got to get serious. I mean, no more fooling around with Hooters and wings. He's got to get serious about it so that people understand he's a serious candidate. And if he stays away from that kind of stuff and actually does these debates and presents himself well, and it's funny, John does know a lot. This guy knows, seriously, he'd be a great candidate, but he's got to get away from the funny stuff. He's got to get down to business, be serious. And if he can do that, I mean, it's going to be a tough task if Jim Diodati runs again. Obviously, it's not going to be a walk in the park for anybody, just simply because at the end of the day, he's got a lot of votes already in his pocket. So it's going to be hard to displace him. But you run a good campaign and you say what is going to happen in your vision. You never know, because a lot of people are not happy with the way everything's been run for, especially the last 4 years, between taxes and everything else. So yeah, good for you, John. Congratulations. At Penny Brookify, responding to the Iceman 69, saying he's running for mayor in 2026. She says, between you and the incumbent, you got my vote. So there you go, John. You're not shut out. You got one vote anyway. And then he says to the Iceman 69 says to Jody, know the rules before you play the game unless you're a mad nona. So what he's just saying is that, you should know the rules. And if you did know the rules, you could announce it right now. No problem, and start campaigning. So that's what he's talking about. Now, the January 28th show was interesting. And that was the one where we talked about Councillor Newesteg being nominated to lead the PC party in this area, Progressive Conservatives, in this area as the MPP running for election without a nomination process or anything. At Penny Brookify says, responding to Iceman 69 saying he's running for mayor. Penny Brock, I am a conservative voter, she says, or he says. I think Penny's a girl's name, right? If that's her name. I'm a conservative voter. I completely understand your feelings about the upcoming provincial election. No way would I vote for Ruth Ann. There's just no good choice available. So she kind of is echoing my sentiment that I'm going to have a hard time this election because I don't have anybody to vote for. I can't vote NDP. I can't vote Liberal. Conservative candidate to me is not a viable candidate. I just can't see that candidate doing any good for the city up in Queen's Park. So I have to figure out who I'm going to vote for, but something may have come up. I got an interesting email. I can't mention who it was from today, But I got an interesting email saying that this person may run as an independent. Now, I can't verify that. That's what they said. And I know who sent it, and I asked for their permission to disclose it on air. I never got a reply yet. But as soon as I do, I will let you listeners know who this is and who is going to be running as an independent. There is somebody out there. The mystery right now, I can't disclose it, but I'm gonna, first chance I get, and it could be tomorrow, so tune in tomorrow. At the Iceman 69, Ruth Newestag is the progressive conservative candidate in the Niagara Falls riding for next month's election. And he put an $8 he put. That's a good sense of humor there, Iceman 69, because we know what that means. That's referring to when Councillor Newestag stood up after raising our taxes for 4% or 7.9% or whatever it was. I think it was 7.9% that year. The first year she got on council, she voted to raise the taxes by 7.9%, and then stood up and said, it's only $8 a month. You know, what she forgets is not only $8 a month. It's like 30% more on your utilities, your food, your gas, everything that you do every day, food prices, entertainment, everything was going up, but $8 a day. I'd take that deal all day, any day. $8 a day, please sign me up. Sign me up for a 20-year contract at $8 a month. It's only $8 a month. Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up for that. Unfortunately, it isn't. For anyone to say that and make that point to people who are struggling to keep their house, that is kind of inconsiderate and naive as far as I'm concerned. Okay, now we were also talking about that email, and somebody sent to me, Olivia Diodati, Mayor Jim's daughter, is the community engagement coordinator of the University of Niagara Falls, according to the LinkedIn page. And Era Patel, Councillor Patel's daughter, community engagement coordinator at the University of Niagara Falls. So two of them. I don't know. Are they made up positions to do favors for somebody? We don't know. I don't know anything about it other than this is what they put on their LinkedIn page. So I never made this up. Somebody pointed me to their LinkedIn page. I looked it up, and sure enough, there it is. The two girls, or women now. I mean, they're not girls anymore, but there they are, being hired by the University of Niagara Falls. Make of it what you will. Make of it what you will. So there are all the comments from the videos. Good comments. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate all comments. We'll talk about them for sure on the show. If you put a comment on one of the videos, we'll talk about it. And if you have any more questions, you can email me, Paul Lemire at cogeco.ca. You can text me, 905-353-7560. Just don't do it during the show because I use my phone to video the show, so I won't be able to answer you anyway. You can contact me through Facebook, Paul K. Lemire, Paul Lemire. You can contact me through the YouTube videos by commenting, whatever. Got a question, got anything to say, get a hold of me. Now, in that regard, I did get a, let's see, I've got something more to say about it, but I did get an email back from, let me see if I can find it real quick. If not, I'll go through everything and I'll read it to you when I find it. Oh, I did get an email back from the lady who sent me the email about the University of Niagara Falls buying that property and her having troubles, and the letter she sent to the ombudsman. I did get a letter back from her, which is pretty cool. Here's what she said. I'm going to read it word for word. I don't fool around. She said, "Thank you for reading my letter on your program. I have received multiple requests for interviews and more information about what I was talking about, what she was talking about, as a result of your program. I have also received a lot of relevant information about fact checking in my letter. If you were to Google Ara Patel and Olivia Diodati, both of their LinkedIn profiles will tell you about their new jobs at the university. So I did that, and that's where I got my information. There are numerous articles and statements about the trip taken by Diodati, Felicetti, Serge Felicetti, and Jason Burgess, right? The mayor, Serge Felicetti and Burgess. Thanks again for your help. Now, I want to say it's very nice of the lady to send me a letter back acknowledging that she did get some action from people listening to the show, and she did get some follow up, and that just mentioning it on air actually helped her. I'm glad. That's what the show's here for, to help people. Your city, your voice. Now, as far as the China trips go, I'm not sure if that has to do with the University of Niagara Falls or goes back to the development at Thundering Waters, because I remember that was a big issue in 2018 when we had the election in 2018. That was a big deal. People were talking about this all over the place. And they all went to China, including Joyce Morocco for some reason. And that's when a lot of these allegations came up. Now, if anybody else has any information that's pertinent to trips to China for the University of Niagara Falls and in the global university systems that runs it, feel free to let me know. I haven't heard anything, but somebody posted on there saying that I said it on my show. And no, I didn't say that on my show. What I did was read the email from this lady who mentioned that. Now, I'm not sure if it's has to do with University of Niagara Falls, them going to China, if it's a trip in the future, or they did go there to meet with somebody. I'm not sure about that. But I do remember a lot of that kind of those allegations back when they were building the Thundering Waters and China was involved and they're going to build this mini city and everything else there. So I'm wondering if she's remembering back to 2018. I don't know. I have no information. That I can confirm about that trip to China. Although I do remember it being a thing in around 2018, around that time when they were looking for to build that big Chinese mini city at Thundering Waters. There was a big environmental thing because of the swamp and the toads and everything else there. So it was a big deal. And there was a lot of stuff going on in the city council about that. Hey, I can only tell you what I know, right? And try not to make things up. So, how do you endorse a candidate when you say that you haven't decided to endorse a candidate? That's a lot of double talk. And I think we're used to it by now in Niagara Falls. I mean, we get double talk from everybody. But let's get back to that in a minute. First, I'm going to tell you about my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And, for breakfast, guess what I had? If you guess pizza, you'll be right. I love pizza. And where'd I get it from? Well, Pete's Pizza. I always get my pizzas from Pete's Pizza. They make a fantastic pizza. They use the Mancini family recipe, and they use the recipe for the crust and the sauce. Mike worked at an Italian restaurant. The guy who runs Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Italian restaurant for 15 years. He worked. He knows how to work pizza. He blends Saputo mozzarella with brick. Beautiful blend. Puts it on the pizza right in the right ratio with the sauce. You can't lose. And he also uses cornmeal on the crust, which to me is paramount. It's my favorite. So, what else does he have over there? Chicken wings. Fantastic chicken wings. Really good. As good as anything in the city, for sure. He has steak and cheese poutine, all kinds of poutine subs. He's got panzerotti, whatever you need there. He's got a menu this big. It takes you 2 days to go through it. He's got so much stuff on it. You're going to be happy with everything on that menu, believe me. So you don't have to worry about finding something you like. If you're not a big pizza and wing fan, like that, you're going to find something else. And you're going to get it hot and ready. I'm telling you, it comes to your house steaming hot with great, good, fresh ingredients on it. My favorite pizza is the Canadian with with the pepperoni and crumbled bacon and mushrooms. I love it. That's one of my favorites. The trays are as good as the pies. So it's a win-win situation over there at Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza, 905-374-2222. Call up and get your pizza today. Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca. That's the website. You can order off the website. They do skip and everything else, so you don't have to worry about it. Plus, they're open till 2 in the morning on Friday and Saturday for your late night munchy desires. Yeah, you get them, right? So there you go. You know where to go. Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And don't forget to support our sponsors. And also subscribe to this channel. Okay, so how do you endorse a candidate when you say you haven't decided to support a candidate? Well, ask Jim Diodati, the mayor, the Big Show, the ringmaster. So far, he's been a big cheerleader for Doug Ford and endorsed him last election. He said he was impressed with how accessible Ford has been to him, which makes sense since Ford calls him the real MPP for Niagara. And, the Big Show has Dougie on speed dial. You know that. You can just speed dial him up and talk to him anytime. Now, it's not a quantum leap to think that his feelings haven't changed for Colonel Ford and his take on the situation, which is the right one, in my opinion. We should have a leader that represents the party in power, because we've had one that hasn't represented the party in power for so long, and we see what gets done. That looks like this. Nothing. Zero, nothing. Right? So it's great to have an MPP that aligns with the ruling party. Otherwise, you don't have a seat at the table, he said. They don't have influence. There's a distinct advantage by having your local elected officials as part of the government in power, the Big Show said. I agree with them. I can't argue that point. It's better to have somebody with the government in power running the show in your district. Now, this is all true if you have a good candidate. But what if you don't? Do you hold your nose and vote for the party? Or do you vote for the person you think will do the best job for the Niagara riding? And that's the dilemma I'm in right now. I'm a conservative, you know that, and I'm a big C conservative. I believe in fiscal responsibility, reducing taxes, curbing immigration, all the things that Trump wants to do in the United States. I believe we should be doing in Canada as well. Because if we were, he wouldn't be threatening the country. And I keep saying, imagine a foreign leader having to threaten our government to do the right things. It's so ridiculous. How can this be? But it is. That's what's going on. And I don't think, Doug Ford's trying to tap into patriotism in Canada, but I just understand that this country, it's not a patriotic country. Oh, yeah, people stand there and they the flag and sing, "Oh, Canada." But you know what? Quebec doesn't even want to be in Confederation. Confederation's a failure. We had to build a railroad to the BC to have them join. The East Coast, they're on their own little trip out there. The prairie provinces want nothing to do with the federal government or Canada. They're conservatives. They believe in farmers and that kind of thing. This government hasn't supported them at all. I mean, it's been terrible for them. So who the hell wants to be in Canada except Doug Ford in Ontario? And we're big enough, and with our own GDP big enough to be our own country, never mind being a part of Canada. So, yeah, it's important that we have a conservative running there. But what I see is Kamala. That's all I see. Kamala has been appointed to run for the Conservative Party in this riding. No nomination process, no democracy involved. Just, we're going to appoint this person, like Kamala Harris was appointed, to be the one. And I just don't see any conservative values there. In her 2 years on council, she's delivered staggering 18% tax increases over 3 budgets, voted to increase city staff by at least 57 people that I know of, maybe more. I'd have to get the number about that, but that's the last 2 years. and maybe more, and figures that's a small increase of $8 a month is only $8 a month, while people lose their homes because of that $8 a month on top of everything else going on, added to runaway inflation, is okay. That's not conservative to me. Rather than suggest city council tighten their belt, she suggests a 50,000 cut on a $30 million budget and okays another 5% increase this year. How is this person going to perform as MPP? I don't know. How is she going to help to Ford to take on Orange Man bad and control spending if she can't even figure out a $200 million budget on city council? Her past performance doesn't bode well. So how are we going to send her to Queen's Park? I don't know. I can't answer that question. Now, Mayor Jim, extols the virtues of Councillor Newstig by saying she's got a lot of business experience. She's a very talented councillor, very well known in the community for decades of helping families. She is. That's all true, except for the talented councillor. I mean, she has a lot of respect in town. Will make she says she has a lot of, this is Jim talking, not me. She definitely has a lot of respect and will make a formidable opponent for Gates. I don't think so. People are going to vote party. If they vote Conservative Party, maybe, but not because she's good. And thinking about this statement from the mayor, it doesn't surprise me that he takes that stand, because most of the people on council believe that being well known and doing good things for the community equate with ability to hold a seat on council. And we've seen year after year it doesn't have a thing to do with that. If attending photo ops, appearing on CHCH every morning, grandstanding during council meetings made for a good council, we'd have the best council in the world. They'd be getting all kinds of Nobel Peace Prizes and everything. But they're not. As far as being very talented, well, I mean, this is pure gaslighting by the mayor. She's not proven that one bit in her 2 years as a counselor. Her first 2 years, by the way, she has no other experience. How do you endorse someone after saying you're not going to endorse anyone? Well, that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. Jim just did it. But I can't hold my nose on this one and vote to send a candidate that isn't qualified to Queen's Park. I know. A lot of people are touting how great a counselor she is and how great of a businesswoman she is. But I don't see that. And I have to tell it like it is. And I'm going to have to vote the way that I see it. I mean, I like Ruth Ann. But this has nothing to do with friendship or liking someone. This is business. What is best for Niagara Falls? This is business, ladies and gentlemen. Tell Mike it was only business. I always liked them, said Sal to Tom in The Godfather, before they took Sal away after he was found out to be a rat. I only, it's only business, Ruth Ann. I always liked you, but it's only business. And that's the way I got to vote. Now, speaking of Mama Luke's, were we speaking of Mama Luke's? I think we were. Well, I am now. An interesting note about one Frank DeLuca that challenged me to an on-air debate a few days ago regarding how great Councillor Ruth Ann would be as an MPP. I didn't know this, but somebody messaged me and said, this guy is Wayne Gates' brother-in-law. Holy guacamole, Batman. So let me get this straight. Frank Mamaluca is Wayne Gates' brother-in-law, and he appeared to be endorsing Ruth Ann. Wait a minute. Whoa. Do we have in-law problems or what? Frank claims he's a conservative, so that means he definitely won't vote for a socialist, right? So he didn't vote for his brother-in-law, the Frito Bandito? Well, I'm trying to digest all this now, is the truly bizarro world we're living in here. I mean, this guy reminds me of the Carlo of Niagara Falls. Remember the brother-in-law of Sonny and Mike Corleone that got Sonny killed? And Carlo gave up Sonny like a rat. I have no idea, but he wasn't smart enough to fool a Corleone. Michael took care of him. I have no idea if what Frank says is true or who he voted for. I have no idea. I was surprised to learn this. But I find it odd he wouldn't back his brother-in-law, although we were talking, like that's weird. Although, we're talking about Wayne Gates here. So there's that. Anyway, it's the weirdest thing. But, Frank, I'm not going to debate you. No, I don't do debates. Leave that for Ruth Ann Newesteg to do. She's going to be debating the Frito Bandito. I hope there's enough time for a debate. Somebody's got to set one up. Come on. Got to have a debate. We need a debate between him and her and whoever the Liberal candidate is and somebody else for the Green Party. I don't even know. Well, the Green Party they mentioned, the Liberal they haven't, so I don't know. I mean, a four-way debate here. Let's see what they have to say. But Wayne Gates, I mean, for all the bad stuff, like, I got to say he has experience. He does have connections in Queen's Park. He's been there long enough. So he does have the ability to bend some ears at Queen's Park because of his tenure. And he's getting almost like Peter Kormos around here at this point. If you remember Peter in Welland, he was the longtime New Dipper that had a lot of respect in Queen's Park, even though his party never really gained power. They were in power for a couple of years maybe. But he was an awesome MPP for Welland, even though he was with the NDP party. And that's because people respected him. He was common sense and everything else. Now, the Frito Bandito doesn't get a lot done. It takes a lot of credit when things do get done, even though he had little to do with them. Can he be worse than Ruth Ann? The Kamal Harris of Niagara Falls? Well, we're going to find out in 30 days. See what the people say. They're going to be the ultimate deciders, not me, not you, not Frito Bandito, not any of the other candidates. It's the people who are going to decide. And I'm going to tell you one thing. If we have a 30% turnout like normal in this town, Wayne Gates is going to win easy. He has his backers annealed. They're hardened. They vote for him no matter what. He's well liked. And no matter what I say, people perceive that he's done a lot for this area. And he even said, I'll debate anybody about how much I've done my record. So, good. You can debate Ruth Ann about it. And the other candidates, I'm not going to debate him. I get him and his brother-in-law in here and I have to debate both of them. It'll be like a Mexican standoff. We're all going to be firing at each other. But anyway, that's it. Go figure. Never a dull day in Niagara Falls, is there? Kennesaw. What do I know? Okay, now I just wanted to go back and straighten that out about that email that I got from the woman about the mayor going to China on the University of Niagara Falls. I'm yawning. Somebody put me to sleep. I'm putting myself to sleep. I hope I'm not putting you to sleep out there. I get up early. I'm up at 4 a.m. every morning. I can't sleep. I get up. And then by noon, I put in an 8-hour shift already. I should have had a Snickers bar. But anyway. Like I say, I really want to make this clear that I have no information about Jim Diodati taking anything from the University of Niagara Falls to go to China. I have nothing, no proof of that. I never said that. I have no proof of that. And I want to make it clear because I don't want Jim and them to get mad at me for saying, Mike Strange already got mad at me for something I didn't say. He was over the top telling me I'm a liar. Because somebody said that he's going to raise taxes 7.6%. He says, I never said that, Paul. He addressed me, so he must have thought I said it. Meanwhile, it's a Facebook page that I have nothing to do with. And I said, Mike, I have nothing to, I don't even know. I won't know what you're going to vote for until you vote for it. And that comes next week. So I just want to make a strange scenario here where I'm getting blamed for things I didn't say, because believe me, if I knew about it, I'd tell you. Oh, yeah. Transparency here, baby. If I knew that was the case, you'd be the first to know. My viewers would be the first to know. So I just want to get that straight. I don't want I don't mind taking the heat. I'll take the heat. And I don't mind taking the heat for stuff that I say, in my opinion. But I don't want to take the heat from somebody else's opinion. I mean, please. I get enough of my own trouble. I don't need other people to get me in trouble either. So, and I'm sure they didn't mean anything by it, the other ones. They just read my, what I said about that email. And because I said it, they attributed it to me, which it wasn't. So that's fine. I just want to clear that up. Double clear that up. And the truth, it is true about Jim Diodati's daughter and Patel's daughter. They are working for the University of Niagara Falls. And I know Jim's campaign manager is working for the Innovation Hub. And I heard he has something to do with the University of Niagara Falls too. So that's all true. But just the optics of all this, though, are really, really bad for the mayor and Patel. I mean, they're city councilors. They're making decisions on the University of Niagara Falls as far as buying property and rezoning and that. They're putting their hand up. They have a say in it. Well, not Jim so much because it's council, but Patel for sure. And whenever they're speaking to any of this kind of stuff, it's a conflict of interest. They should not be able to talk about anything to do with Niagara Falls University when their kids work there. Because right away, to me, it looks like they got the job there. And I don't even know what a community coordinator, whatever that is, what do they call it here? Community engagement coordinator. I don't even know what that is. It sounds to me, and I could be wrong, like a made-up position. It sounds to me like a payday without having to do anything. What is can somebody tell me in the comments? Tell me, what is a community engagement coordinator? What the hell is that? A PR person? And why do you need two of them? They both got the same job. And I'd like to know what they're making. I know it's for a private university. They don't have to disclose anything. But I'd love to know what they're getting paid. Is this like a $60,000-$70,000 a year job? What's going on here? So this is my only concern about all this. And I think that Jim Diodati and Mona Patel should come clean and tell us exactly what their qualifications are to do the job. And from LinkedIn, it doesn't appear any of them. Either of them have the qualifications for that. If you go to LinkedIn, you can look at both their what they say they've done, their resumes, basically. And I don't see anything about whatever that's called. It's I've never heard this name before. Community engagement coordinator. Are they both doing the same jobs? Were these jobs made up? How much are you getting paid? Is this just like plum? Jobs, these jobs they give out, because they're voting yes for them. Like, this is the optics of it. And I don't like those optics. And they shouldn't either. They should be pretty forthcoming about this. Because the last thing they want is their constituents thinking that these are the perks of being mayor and on council, that their kids are given plum jobs. So, I mean, and I would say that if their family works there, I mean, every decision they make about the University of Niagara Falls, whether it's housing or whether they stay in the city or whatever, that has an effect on their kids, right? So, I mean, there is some kind of an interest there. So I think there should be a conflict of interest. And I go right back to conflicts of interest when you're dealing with any real estate, whether it's apartment buildings at the Meteor Crater, housing contracts or builds out by SciTech or in the West End of all that. Should a real estate agent really be voting on this? I mean, he's selling homes and he might be selling those homes. Should he be given the yes or no about developments like that? Should he not walk away maybe? So I mean, there's a lot of questions about this city council right now, right from the Innovation Hub to the University of Niagara Falls, back to Spark Innovation Hub, to Holdco, to conflicts of interest. I know they get away with it because nobody complains, but at the end of the day, these are questions that have to be answered. Transparency is so important. This is why transparency is important, because otherwise you get people thinking all kinds of things and making all kinds of allegations that aren't true. And to avoid that, what you do is you're transparent. You open the books, you let people see what's going on. Like, are we going to open up the sunshine list for 2025 and see those two kids there making over $100,000 a year being community employment coordinators? I don't know. That's the thing. That's what we got. That's what we got to look at. The optics are terrible. So that's about all I got to say about that. But we should look into it now. I got to get to my next sponsor. Then we're going to talk about the posties for a minute. Yeah, they're back to work delivering mail. Everybody got their $200 check. But they're back to work, but there's still things going on with them. It's not over with them yet. To my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And if you listened to the show last Friday, you would have been blown away by what this company, who's been around Niagara Falls since 1948, does. And I'm talking about some giant-sized big projects these guys do. They're innovators. They invent things. They invent systems to make it easier on industry. And right from agricultural products and harvesting them to new machines, new type of machines, better systems, better ideas for industry. But they just don't do that. They're talented in that sector, yeah. But they work with guys like me and you. You got a broken lawnmower deck. You need a patch. You need it welded. You need a little part fabricated. Something's broken. A metal part's broken. You need something made by a 3D printer. They do it all. And they do also water jet cutting. So you want something cut out of metal? They have a water jet that'll do it. They make the programs. They're unbelievable. They have electrical engineers there. They do so many different things. It's unbelievable. And for industry and for guys like us, want a new set of gates for your backyard? Hamel Machine Company. Just go there. They'll design them, build them, get them powder coated for you. They'll do everything. Do the whole job for you. They're unbelievable the way they fabricate that. So they're not just an industrial staple in this city, because they do a lot of work for the city and the region and everybody else. Can-Eng is another big client of theirs. But they're good for guys like me and you, the little guys, and they don't give you these huge shop rates. They're going to be fair with you and help you out the best they can. Hamel Machine Shop. I know Tommy Hamel from years ago. Bob Benner owns it now, of course. He bought it, he said 27 years ago. Hamel Machine Shop in Niagara Falls on Kent Street, and also over here on Bridge Street at Hauser's Welding. They bought that. They do most of their agricultural stuff there. But yeah, you got to give them a call. If you need anything done, give them a call. They're going to help you out with it. You're going to be happy. I'm going to be happy. HamelMachine.ca. You can go in there and see a gallery of the work. They do beautiful, beautiful work for wineries and that kind of thing. But they are talented and they can help you. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you if you give them a call, and support our sponsors because they support the city and they support the show. Thank you very much. And subscribe to our channel. Don't forget about that. Bob Benner would tell you, subscribe to Paul's channel. Thank you very much. Okay, what about these posties now? So at the first meeting of the posties in the Crown Corporation, known as Canada Post, CP CEO, Canada Post CEO, Doug Ettinger says the recent $1.34 billion federal loan The Canada Post is not a long-term fix for the deficits. So he's telling you straight up, as stamps go up to $1.44 a stamp, this $1 billion loan from the government is nothing. It's nothing. They've been losing money for so long. This is like a pocket change for them. And it's not a long-term fix for the deficits. Canada Post is facing these huge deficits, while the union accuses the Crown Corporation of using financial woes to implement drastic service cutbacks. Now, we know that Canada Post has been a loser for years. I think everybody knows that. Is that a secret? I don't think that's a secret, is it? But they said they're going to go the way of the dodo, as proven during the recent strike, where nobody even cared whether they're on strike. And one person said, I didn't even know they were on strike until I never got my Kentucky Fried Chicken coupons. And it doesn't get more truthful than that. They're going to go the way of the dodo. Ettinger further goes on to say that Canada Post is unsustainable and facing insolvency as other carriers do the job faster and more efficiently. Right now, Canada Post and the union representing the posties have until May to hammer out a deal. With 55,000 workers for Canada Post in the union ready to pull the plug again if a deal can't be reached. Losses are expected to increase for CP, Canada Post. But the union is not sympathetic to the corporation's woes, saying they are just union busting and trying to use its financial woes as a pretext to implement drastic service cutbacks. They want to cut them back for the delivery service. Now, Canada Post, in the meantime, has done a complete reorganization of their executive staff that resulted in the elimination of 5 senior positions and the departure of their CFO, Chief Financial Officer, trying to enhance decision-making by reducing layers and bringing new strategic perspectives to the table. The decisions were not easy, but reflect the financial realities of Canada Post as they face other competition and the challenges they face as a corporation. So the union saying baloney. You're just using all this as a pretext. They're saying, no, we're serious. We're in bad shape here. And the battle continues. So we'll see what happens. We got till May. And then we could see them in back of the post office walking the picket line again. Now, down on the border, down Mexico way, 9 days into the Trump presidency, as Homan and the Department of Homeland Security start rounding up and shipping out the illegal aliens, and Trump declares the drug cartels terrorist organizations, a firefight erupted at the border between Border Patrol and the drug cartels. So Homan isn't sitting still on this. He's in charge of Homeland Security. He tells the cartels that because they're terrorists, all hands are on deck to wipe them off the face of the earth. He said that right on TV. You think he's kidding? He sent 10,000 troops down the border and with more ready to go. Trump has ordered that they set up encampments that'll hold 30,000 people at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. And they're getting ready to get them all out of there. If Mexico has a problem with that, then they're going to have to face another Spanish-American war. Because really, the cartels run Mexico, to be honest. And a war could happen at the border. And any other countries that think that they can get away with anything, forget about it. They're going to get their drug dealers back. They're going to get their criminals all back. And if they don't like it, Trump will take care of them too. And now Canada has to get on board. I mean, we really do have to get on board with this. Why would we want the criminals in this country? Why would we invite criminals to this country? And what's even sicker is that we have to depend on a foreign leader to make Canadians, not Canadian people, Canadian government officials do the right thing. It's crazy. And we're reading all the time these smash and grabs, these murders, these gun things, people getting killed. It's all about illegal immigrants. We see what's happening in this country. Look around. You don't have to go far. Look around. So why is Trump being tough with Canada? Because he don't want these criminals. Now, Canada is opening the border to let them in and actually designing encampments and stuff and ways to deal with them when they come over that border. They're just going to let them in, these refugees. They're the same criminals in the U.S. They're going to let them into Canada now. And of course, it's going to be like a turnstile. They're going to come through the gate into Canada, sit here for a little while, and then they're going to go right back over the States. They're going to find a border to cross or some coyote to cross them back into it. It's ridiculous. And until Canada gets their game in shape here, getting game shape with it. I mean, there was a couple that were caught jumping off a freight train coming from Buffalo in Fort Erie off that railway bridge. I mean, they were caught, but I mean, it happens all the time. It happens all the time, and they're coming here. They want to come here because they're getting out of the States before Trump throws them out, arrests them, and throws them out. So we got to get tougher, and there's no tariffs going to go on Canada if we straighten out our act. But Canadians got to go down there. Some representative that knows what the hell they're doing has got to go down there and deal with Trump and tell them, listen, we got this in place, that in place. We're rounding up these guys. We're getting rid of them. I mean, they got to show they're doing something. And if they don't, well, then, that's what happens. Trump's going to come in and force them to. And in a story kind of related to that, we have the case of a lady in Milton, a Haitian woman in Canada. She's trying to steal an SUV out of a driveway in Milton. And that's a place where auto theft is epidemic at this point. So she's up there trying to steal this SUV, and the owner came out and she took off with a bunch of other people she was with. And you wonder why car thefts are on the rise, because a Haitian woman who tried to steal the car, she went to court where a judge rejected a suspended sentence for the woman. Said, no, you're not getting a suspended sentence. So I'm going, good. Finally, they're gonna give her punishment. The woman claimed the sentence would not allow her to work and send money back to her family in Haiti. And said she was sorry for trying to steal the car, like it was her first rodeo or something. And as a matter of fact, she lied to police about her identity when they arrested her. So she's not sorry, and she isn't going to try to stop stealing cars. So the judge came down with what he considered a harsh sentence. After listening to the defense attorney tell him how great this criminal was, touching story, attempted theft took place on private property. The criminal fled the scene, which resulted in a high-risk police intervention that put the public at risk, and the planning that went into the crime also stood there. So, no harsh sentence. What's his harsh sentence? 8 months on a conditional sentence. In other words, for 8 months, she gets to stay home and be a good girl. She can go to work, she can do everything else, but basically she's been sentenced, but she hasn't been put in jail. For 8 months, she was going to go to jail. They let her out. She don't have to serve time in jail. She can serve it at home and at work. She gets to go home, gets to work, like nothing happened. She also gets to try and steal more cars, of course. Now, that right there is why car thefts are up. Because these courts and these bleeding heart liberals won't give them sentences that are appropriate. The woman should have been immediately printed, DNA sampled, and sent back to Haiti with her visa passport pulled. That's what should have happened. You're a criminal. We don't want criminals in this country. You're an undesirable. And this is what Trump is talking about when he says we've got to get our borders in order. We got to get our borders in order. We can't have this criminal element coming into Canada and then causing havoc with our citizens. I mean, a Haitian was involved in this crime, but we've seen the pictures of the people that are smashing, grabbing all the way up to QEW coming down from Toronto. We know who they are. The cops probably know who they are. They've been arrested before. I'll guarantee you, when they arrest these guys, they will have other charges that have been laid against them before for one thing or another. But yet they're still in this country. And there's nothing the police can do because the courts just let them off. 50,000 student visas, people that got student visas, never bothered to show up for their first day in class. Never bothered. Got the visa, stay in Canada, bring their family over, do all this stuff. Never bothered to show up for their first day in class. There's a scam to get into the country, with 20,000 of them being from India. Another 1.2 million with expired visas should be leaving the country. Nobody knows where they are. And this doesn't include the thousands of unvetted figures, refugees that are wandering around the country that they number in the millions. And you wonder why Trump is telling Canada to get their house in order? Don't be mad at Trump. Don't be mad at Trump. He's trying to do the right thing. Be mad at your liberal government that is the root cause of all crime, lack of imposing the laws as they stand on the books, and unvetted immigration into this country. And that's who you got to blame. Anyway, that's it for me today. I was going to talk about, excuse me, this strange plane crash on the Potomac River, the plane and the military helicopter. I was going to get to that, but I'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. To me, it's pretty weird, the whole thing, and I'll tell you what I think tomorrow on the show. Until then, we're at 1 o'clock. I want you to give our sponsors a chance. Support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamill Machine Company. They support the show. Please support them. Also, subscribe to my video. Subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Subscribing costs nothing. It doesn't cost you a dime. I'm at almost 90 now. I want to get to 100 subscribers. Come on, you want to tune in every day to see what kind of crazy stuff I'm going to talk about. You know you do. So just subscribe and you're going to get a notification when I'm on air, when I post the video, which goes up usually around 3 o'clock in the afternoon every day. Every day I do this. So make sure you subscribe, get the notifications, thumbs up, thumbs down, leave comments. If you have information, leave me information. I always talk about the comments and information on the show. And the other stuff, well, just think about it. Think about it all. That's what we're here for. Your city, your voice. We're here to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. That's what we're here for. And we do get calls and emails and everything else to uncover things. I'm going to announce the person that is running independently, with their permission, of course, for MPP. You'll be interested to know who that is. You're probably guessing right now. And we'll talk about that plane, and we'll talk about a lot of other stuff as well. You know, we always got something to talk about. In the meantime, have a great day. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q Radio, downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. I got a cough. I don't know why I get this cough down. It's getting dry in here. And we come to you every day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday with Your City, Your Voice. Wednesdays, absolutely all Habs, all show for my Hab fans. And we talk about what's going on in this city and what you should be watching for. See you tomorrow on Finally Friday. Have a great day, everybody. God bless you all. Ciao, ciao for now.